one. And joining us to talk about the Build Back Better piece of legislation that passed the House Friday morning is Congressman Garret Graves, Republican from Louisiana. He's been at it all night, and he joins us now. Congressman Graves, first of all, thank you for taking time out. I know you need some rest, but you took some time out to talk to us about it. You were a no vote. You called this bill a partisan wish list. So what about it struck you as just too partisan for your taste?
Look, the bill is really just payback is what it is. It goes in and tries to reward folks like wealthy donors. Fred, one of the provisions in here, it actually provides about $250 billion worth of tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires, primarily in New York, New Jersey, California. Look, this isn't helping out the average people, but look at what's going on right now. Border crisis, we've got the defund the police movement, we've got record inflation, energy prices, and gasoline prices going through the roof. I mean, these are the things that we need to be focusing on right now. We've got supply chain issues, not out there handing out trillions and trillions of dollars. This bill is about $4.5 trillion in new spending, including $1.5 trillion in new taxes. And Wall Street Journal, Congressional Budget Office, and others have effectively said that the numbers on this bill are really deceiving, or I think the Wall Street Journal said the most dishonest ever, because what it does is it creates these new welfare programs, but only funds them for 1 year. And they did that intentionally because they didn't want the score of the cost of the bill to go through the ceiling. So they know that next year they're just going to come back and fund it again. So we're creating new welfare programs, eliminating work requirements, and really just a concerning priority right now concerning what's going on in this country.
So sort of a moot point now, but you had offered a slew of amendments for this bill. I want to zero in on one of the amendments, which is, I believe, your Amendment 19, and it would stop the bill from taking effect if the increased spending in the bill would result in inflation levels topping 10%. Do you think that's a real possibility?
Looking at the trajectory we're on now, it certainly is a possibility, but Fred, the intention there is to put some type of cap, like what number is finally excessive for you folks, for the people that are pushing this legislation. At what point do you go ahead and cry uncle and say, okay, this is ridiculous, this is out of hand? And so that's what we were trying to do. We put in inflationary caps. We tried to put in debt caps, saying if the debt crosses a certain level, and all of those, unfortunately, were rejected by Speaker Pelosi. In fact, she prevented us from being able to offer them. And look, the bottom line is that this is just not a priority for the average American right now. We've got to focus on things that really matter to people at home and address some of these crises that are facing our nation, and not go out there and try and give away $12,500 per millionaires so they can go buy new electric vehicles. It just doesn't make sense.
Congressman, you and your Republican colleagues fought hard all night against this. You guys even broke some records on the time you took at the podium. How do you see this playing out over, because it's not a done deal yet. It's headed to the Senate now. How do you see it playing out in the Senate?
Well, thank God, Senator Joe Manchin and Senator of West Virginia, Senator Kristen Sinema of Arizona, and to some degree, Senator John Tester of Montana, all Democrat senators, all three of them have registered some concerns. Senator Manchin certainly has been front and center on this. I think what happens is that this bill ends up going over to the Senate, and one of two things: it either dies, which is what I prefer, or it ends up getting significantly whittled down to where it does less damage than it will right now. But considering the inflation that Americans are facing, that is like a hidden tax. Your income is going down, yet this bill adds a current version adds $1.5 trillion in new taxes. This isn't what America needs. And so I'm really hoping that the Senate stays strong and prevents this bill from moving in its current form, and hopefully prevents it from moving at all.
All right, we'll be keeping tabs on it as well. Representative Garret Graves, we're going to let you go, get some rest. I appreciate you talking with us.
Hey, thank you. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, sir.